Hi everyone, welcome to Real Sales 101, the no-nonsense approach to selling. Today we're going to talk about the 10 things that without training you can do to help you become successful. This is very important. A lot of it is going to sound common and obvious and common sense. And it should sound like common sense, but people have to put it into practice, and many people don't put it into practice. So I want to emphasize it. So these are things that you can do when you first come onto the job, or you start, or you're working with a customer, and you really don't know much, or you really don't know how, you're inexperienced. These are things you can do. And it's good for any job, any position, anywhere. It doesn't matter if you're at a low level or a high level. Okay, so very famous thing. It's called the 10 things that you can do without any training to help you be successful. So the very first thing that anyone can do is be on time. Be on time. Don't be late. Very important. The first thing is don't be late, because what happens is that being on time is what gives you your strongest or worst impression. Okay? So when you go in to see somebody, if you have an appointment time, a meeting time, make that meeting time. Whatever you have to do, make that meeting time. If you can't make that meeting time for whatever reason, contact the person and tell them, I cannot make that meeting time. I'm stuck in traffic. I don't know, my roof just caved in, whatever it is. But you want to be there on time. That makes your strongest impression. People who are late think that the other person doesn't notice, but they do, that the buyer doesn't notice, the customer doesn't notice. But trust me, the customer notices. Okay, the same way you notice. If someone says they have a meeting with you and the person doesn't show up, or they show up late, it's the worst thing the guy can do. Okay, and by being on time, it sits well with the buyer. He knows that you're a reliable person. It's the most important thing to show reliability, is being on time. Okay, and people get to know you like that, and you start developing a personality. Okay, the second thing is to have a work ethic. Work ethic is very important. Don't just sit there like a lump on a log. Okay, you want to be good with teamwork, right? You want to have integrity. Okay, you want to have quality of your work. Hugely important. Responsibility is another one. That's a biggie. Discipline, honesty. These are things when you walk into the work environment, whatever it is, and that work environment can be your own space, right? You're just an independent guy and you want to sell to somebody, or you're going up to someone and you're saying, here, buy from me, or you're going to a company, whatever it may be. This work ethic is something else that also shows through. If you can work well with a team, if you've got honesty, if you've got integrity, if you have pride in what you're doing, it shows. It does show. And again, if you don't have it, if you don't do it, that also shows. The other person picks up on the nuances of that. And they say, this guy is not really a serious worker. You think you're fooling someone, you're not. The only person you're fooling is yourself. Okay? The third thing is your effort. Very important. Okay? Like in school, you have to apply yourself. Okay? Don't just think things are going to come to you. They're not going to come to you. You're really, really lucky. Or you're following in the footsteps of someone who did all this work before you in order for them to come to you. Okay? Because they're not. You have to go and you have to make the effort. You have to blaze your own trails. Okay? So when you put in the good efforts, it shows. Number one, it shows. But number two, in the long term, it pays off. Okay? You have to be patient. These things do take time, okay? Sometimes the guy's going to respond right away, but many people are not, all right? So when you put that effort in, you put all your work together and you do that, you don't need training for that. You just know that you come in and you apply yourself, and you apply yourself right. And people are going to respond to that, okay? So effort is the third one. Fourth one, body language. Very important. Again, people think, well, body language, so what? It is a so what. Because what happens is that a person comes in to see you and they sit slumped and they don't care and they're looking down at their feet the whole time and they mumble under their voice, whatever. That does nothing to impress the person that you're trying to sell to. Keep in mind, when you're selling to someone, or when you're working with someone, or you're on the job, you want to impress the other person. All these things, this list of 10 things, are designed to impress the other person before they start the training, before you start your training, before the big corporation starts to train you. be on time, show interest, have good body language, stand well with a good posture, right? Walk in well, don't sit and fidget. People notice these things. And these are things that all, sort of like the Olympics, these are things that all take away points, right? The figure skaters hit the ice, or the gymnast hits the mat, okay? And judges are watching. And everything they do either adds points or detracts points, okay? So what happens is, if you don't do this, if you just do something like, and by the way, when the Olympian takes the field, they're looking at things like posture. You think posture? They do this triple Louis flip in the air or something, and the commentator says, well, their toes weren't exactly pointed at a 90-degree angle, they were pointed at an 88-degree angle. Okay, you wouldn't expect that, but the judges are watching for that. And when you go out to sell, the buyers are your judges, right? When you go into work, your bosses, your team workers, these are your judges, and they're judging you constantly. Okay, so until you know them well, until you're comfortable in that position, even then, you might only let your guard down a little bit. But for the most part, you're working with your customers, you're on your game. Sort of like going to a restaurant. When you go into a restaurant, right, the restaurant has to get it right virtually 100% of the time. If there's one time the restaurant doesn't get it right, very often people say, I'm not going back. Why? It's only one time. The chef screwed up something, or put a little too much salt, or who knows what. Okay, so these are things. So body language, hugely important, because body language is non-verbal communication. Okay, body language, it can show whether you're bored or excited, whether you're happy to see someone or you don't care about seeing someone, you're indifferent, or you don't like the person, right? Whether you're glad to sit there and listen to the guy talk, or you want to get the heck out. Very important, body language. People take it for granted, but it is there, and it does mean something. Okay, it does. The next thing is your energy level. Number 5, your energy level. Very important also. Why? Because when you walk in and you've got energy, energy is contagious. Okay, energy is contagious. You walk in, you're gung-ho, you're ready to go. People sense that. They sense it, and they like it. Because people like to feed off of energy. You are a battery source, a power supply. When you walk in high energy, not annoying like and picking up everything and running and painting walls all over the place, but when you've got a good positive energy, when you can sit with a customer and show him and come in to see him full of gusto and full of willingness to work, and willingness to please him, and willingness to work for him, that's golden. That's everything. Your energy level, okay? This always pays off, okay? And what you put in does come back. It does come back to you. So don't think it's wasted. When you go in to see someone, you say, I can help you this, I can do that, I can go here, I can go there, I could do this for you. Why don't you come with me? If you're going to go, and you have no energy, no one's going to look at you. People naturally elevate. You become like a magnet. They want to plug into your energy. You're an outlet. You've got all this power in you, and they've got the plug, and they want to stick it into, and they want to get that energy from you. They want it to flow from you to them. That's the way people are. People respond better to someone with energy. Very important. Each one of these things is important. Okay? So this energy. Number 6, attitude. Everything's in the attitude. Whatever you do is in the attitude. If you have a good, strong, positive attitude, it always pays off. Always. Negative attitudes, you'll almost always fail. When you walk in, you go, oh, well, this isn't going to work, and that's not going to work. And kids who go to school, right? Students who go to school. So they go to school, well, I hate my teacher. Blah, this is no good. Blah, that's no good. Okay, they're no good. But is that child going to excel? Not really, because that child is already putting down. And the same with adults. It's not just children, it's adults. Adults do this. They come in with a negative attitude right away. Well, he's not going to buy from me. Well, she doesn't like me. Well, this, well, that. Well, so what? So what? Well, it's raining outside. You know, the like Eeyore there on Winnie the Pooh walks around with a cloud over his head, always raining on him. Well, I don't know, Pooh. I don't know if this is going to work out or not. Negative attitude. It's terrible. Nobody wants to hang out with someone with a negative attitude. Nobody. People want someone with a positive attitude. Positive attitude, people respond better. Okay? And you know, you have to be careful when you're in a situation how you react or how you respond. Okay? Your attitude is everything. And people are always watching that. They're not studying you for your attitude. They're not going, oh, what's his attitude? What's his body language? That's not what the guy is thinking. These are all things that the person is not thinking about. But the expectation is that they're there. All 10 of these. It's an expectation when you're in a job, when you're working, when you're trying to get a customer, when you're working with a customer, whether you're a store clerk, whether you're working in a big multinational corporation, whether you're knocking on doors or people are coming to you, the expectation is that these 10 elements are always upheld. Because what happens is, it's a natural expectation. When you're going to deal with somebody, okay, you're giving them your money, your hard-earned money, to receive from them a good or a service. Goods or service, right? They're going to cut your hair. They're going to sell you a lawnmower, whatever it is, okay? But the guy who doesn't want to look at you, the guy who doesn't want to talk to you, it takes points away. You might buy from the guy now because you have to, but you're not inclined to go back, and you're not inclined to give the guy's name. Think about it. So these are elements that must be there. You have to have these elements. Hugely important. The guy is watching you. Like the judges are watching you. And if you don't come through, it takes points away. So it's one of those things that's almost like this is the minimal expectation of what you have to do. Okay? Don't walk in looking at your feet and tripping over your shoelaces and mumbling under your breath and being angry with everyone. It's not going to get you anywhere. I don't care what you do. I don't care if you're selling tattoos for a tattoo parlor and you're trying to get people in. It's not going to get you anywhere. Okay? I don't care if you're selling ice to a refrigerator maker. It's not going to get you anywhere. People are not going to respond to that. The expectation is, the bare minimum expectation are these 10 points. And these are 10 points that you can do. It shows what kind of person you are. It shows the character. It shows, are you up to the task or are you not up to the task? Right? It shows, are you willing to do the job or not? Are you going to do a good job? When a guy shows up on time, you figure he's going to do a good job. Right? When a guy's got positive attitude, when he's got good energy, when people are feeding off his energy, even if he does a poor job, the energy is infectious, it's contagious. People love it. You become an ace in the office. You become an ace in your workplace, an ace to your customers. Very important, these things. So these things speak to how you are, your character, your personality in the workforce. If you're a guy who shows up late and always looks like he's coming, I don't know, getting out of bed, whatever, people don't respond to that. Or I shouldn't say they don't respond. They do respond. They respond negatively. You don't get points for that. And given you, who's not on time, who's late, and given the other guy who's on time and shows respect for the client's time, right? When you're late, it's like you're saying, my time is more important than yours. I've had to run errands and I have to do this. And, oh, I understand you're waiting for me, but my thing is more important. Fine. But what happens is the guy looks at his watch and, you're not in yet. You're not in yet. You asked me for an appointment, a meeting time, and you're late. And you haven't called to tell me that you're going to be late. So it shows you have no respect for me and you want me to have respect for you. Doesn't work that way. And this shows the client how you work. This shows your boss or your coworkers how you work, what kind of person you are, what kind of company you are, right? Now, does the company allow this to go on? That's another thing. Companies don't want their employees doing this. They don't want their employees being late. If the boss knew that the employee was late all the time, he wouldn't like it. And if you're working for a corporation and you're late, or you've got bad energy, or you've got bad attitude, or you can't put in the effort, the boss at the top is going to let you go. He's not going to keep you. There's no reason for him to keep you. Just on these simple things. You're not even at the point of selling. But this alone, these 10 alone, are going to, these 10 are the very foundation, the basis of what you need to sell. How you're going to sell. When you get these down pat, your selling becomes that much easier. Okay? If you don't get these down pat, you're always going to be behind the 8 ball. You're always going to be chasing. You're always going to be losing out. You're always going to come in second or third. They're always going to choose you second or third. They won't choose you at all. You're a guy who's late. I've dealt with people who are consistently late. Do you know the first opportunity I have to get rid of them, I get rid of them. Because the guy is consistently late. Or he's always full of excuses. He makes the appointment with me. He calls me up. And he says, I want to come see you next Tuesday at 10. I say, great. 10 becomes 10:30, becomes 11, becomes 11:30. Sometimes I don't even hear from the guy. Sometimes I get a phone call at 1:30 in the afternoon, and he says, yeah, sorry I couldn't make it. Let me come next Wednesday instead at 3. Okay. Then next Wednesday rolls around. 3 o'clock becomes 3:15, 3:30, 3:45. Maybe he shows at 4:30. Maybe he doesn't. I mean, how many times are you going to do that? The next time the guy wants to see me, or he comes in with like I don't want to hang out with the guy. I don't want to buy from this guy. What's he going to be for me when I'm in trouble? When I need him, what's he going to do for me? Nothing. He's not going to be there. He's going to be late. It shows. It speaks of a person's character and personality, and that spreads like wildfire in a workplace. Okay? So we talked about attitude, energy, body language. Number 7, your passion. Your passion. Do you love your work or not? Are you interested or not? Okay? This is the key driving force. Okay? And if you don't have passion in your job, if you don't have it, it's going to show. It's going to show. If you don't love your job, people come in. I've had people work for me. They come in, they drag their feet, they're completely unhappy. Well, who needs it? I don't need it. I don't want it. In the end, they bring everybody down. Their work is shoddy. If you don't have that, it translates into everything that you do. Sort of like being on time. If you're a guy who's late, that's going to show in your work. It's going to show in your work because you don't have consideration enough for the other guy to be on time. Or you don't have consideration for your job, or you don't have consideration, if you don't put in the effort or whatever, you don't have that passion, that's going to show in everything that you do in your job. And every time you try and get a customer, you're going to walk in, yeah, well, I don't care. Have a little pride. Have pride. You're going in to see the guy, be passionate about what you do. Show the guy, be proud of what you do. Show the guy, because that is going to show if you don't have it. Well, if you just shrug your shoulders, I don't know. Yeah, I guess. Well, who knows? I'll find out for you. Okay, really? You're calling me now at 4:55? You're not going to call a guy back. He's not going to get another call. People will deal with you when they have to deal with you. They won't deal with you because they want to deal with you. And wanting to deal with you and having to deal with you is fine if you're a monopoly. Oh, that's great. You're, let's say, the phone company, and you're a monopoly. You're a TV company, cable company, whatever. You're a monopoly, there's nobody else. You can give the worst service in the world. Nobody cares. Well, they care, but they have to buy from you. So you can give all the worst service that you want, all the lousy service that you want, right? But when you have competition, the moment the other guy, the moment the buyer sees somebody else, they're going to go with someone else. When you walk into a store and the salesperson is not passionate, and you say, where can I find, I don't know, a size 10 blouse or something? And they go, no, it's over there. And they go back to texting or whatever. Or you say, do you have it in green? Or maybe another store has it. Like, we're out of stock, but maybe the other store has it. Can you help me out? Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Do I have to? I mean, we get these attitudes all the time. And what we want to do is we want to just leave everything. This is our instinct, right? Or you go in and you wait and the guy doesn't come out. He's late. Or his attitude is awful. His effort is awful. What do you want to do? You want to walk out of there without spending a penny, without spending a dime. You want to get out. That's what you want to do. And the other guy wants to do the same thing. If you're trying to get a customer, you want to bring the guy to you. So what are you doing to bring him to you? Just because you're there? You exist? So what? So what? There's billions of people on the world that exist. What makes you special? If you cannot uphold these 10 basic principles, the easiest thing, listen, they require a little bit of effort. They require concentration. But if you can't do it, it's going to say nothing for you. So these are things that you can do without any training. These are things you can do on your first week of the job. When you first approach a customer to sell them, without knowing anything else, without having any skills whatsoever, just be on time. Have a positive attitude, right? Have good energy. Put in an effort. How can I help you, sir? What can I do for you, sir? Even if you make the wrong phone calls for the guy, even if you get the wrong product off the shelf for the guy, because it's your first day on the job, you tell the guy, I'm sorry, it's the first day on the job, I got the wrong product on the shelf for you. But the fact that you running back and find it for him and come back and are willing to help him, he's going to remember that. And that's okay. That's okay. Number 8, be coachable. Don't think you know it all, because you don't. Nobody does. I don't. The top guys you see, the guys making multi-millions of dollars, they don't know it all. They're learning all the time. And when I say be coachable, is that when you come in and someone's talking to you and they're trying to educate you or to enlighten you, okay? Don't, I know it all. I've been there already. Nobody wants that, okay? What you have to do is you have to have an open mind. You have to have an open mind. Very important. Don't be a closed mind. You know it all. You don't know it all. Be willing to learn. Mentor. Have a mentor. Right? Have a mentor. Have someone you look up to. Have someone who can coach you. Right? Look up to your boss, a coworker, whatever it is, or the customer. Right? When you come in, you have to ask questions. Otherwise, you're not going to learn. You're not going to know anything. Oh, I know it all. I know it all. You don't know it all. You don't. You have to be in an industry for many years before you know it all. If you're only there for 2 years in an industry, you don't know it all. And I got news for you. I've seen many people that walked in and they know and they know and they know, and after 3 years, they still don't know anything because they don't want to listen and they don't want to learn. And when you try to talk to them, yeah, in one ear, out the other. Bounces around inside there, all empty or something, like a pinball machine or something. And out it goes. Okay? It flies out like a birdie. All right? So it's very important. So being coachable. Okay? Also part of being coachable is being able to accept constructive criticism. Hugely important. That's part of it. That's still part of number 8, being coachable. Accept constructive criticism. Okay? Because people are going to give you pointers. And people are going to try to correct you. And people are going to try to put you in the right direction. Okay? Especially your boss, or maybe a customer, a client, or maybe a fellow coworker, or a family member, or whatever. Always be willing to learn from them. Okay? Be coachable means always willing to learn, and accept the constructive criticism. Don't get all huffy. Nobody cares about your huffiness. Nobody wants to hear it. You're all huffy, your feelings are hurt, your feathers are ruffled because someone told you that you weren't standing properly or you didn't speak properly. Okay? Well, you probably didn't. The other person sees you from the outside, right? Look at these reality shows, these shows where people sing and this and that. Okay, when they come on, a lot of people don't want to hear the judge say, well, you really sucked. You know, you're too pitchy, you're too this, you're too that. They don't want to hear it. Accept it. Listen to it. Learn from it. Learn from it. Very important, because, and I say everything's important, but it is important, okay? Because you don't want to be a good guy on the job and someone tries to give you a pointer and you don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I know better. I know better. You can't tell me anything. Okay, I can't tell you anything. That's not very good. Okay, so you want to have that open mind. And then afterwards, you can decide what's right for you. But have that open mind. Learn, ask questions, and you know, be able to accept criticism. Okay. Number 9 is going the extra mile. Don't just do your job and stop there. You're looking for success. You're looking to get ahead. If you're looking just to work on an assembly line and put a little pea in the pod each time as it comes down, another pea in the pod, another pea in the pod, and then you want to punch out, fine, whatever. You're basically a human machine. That's all it is. And there's no room for you to grow. I get it. But if you want something more, go the extra mile. You want more, you have to give more. That's the way it works. Okay? Don't just stop where you are, and don't just figure it's enough. It's not enough. Even if that's what you're getting paid for. That's what you're getting paid for. Because the guy who, and there's nothing wrong with any job. I want to make it clear. There's nothing wrong with any job. Any honest living is a good living. Any honest living is a good living. Okay? Doesn't matter what you're doing. Okay? So when you have a job that it might seem low end or going nowhere, whatever it is, if you stop at the certain point, and I understand, I'm not saying work extra hours if you're not getting paid. That's not what I'm saying. But you know, while you're there doing the job, do the job. Do it well. Put in the effort. Put yourself over the line. Show the people around you, show your boss, show your customer that you are going the extra mile for them. Okay? That you're not just providing that bit of information. The guy says, oh, can you tell me what the cost is? Okay? Fine. You tell him, okay, the cost. If you just blurt out a price, fine. Okay, he did it. That's what he asked for. That's what you gave him. But if you figure out the price and the stock situation and when they can get goods delivered, and that the price is going to be going up next week, so you're letting the guy know, you're going the extra mile, you're putting the extra effort in. And even if you're just there on the assembly line putting peas in the pod, there's those that after 20 years are still putting peas in the pod, and there's those that after 5 years are now managers of those putting the peas in the pod. Why? Because they go the extra mile. They do these 10 things, because these 10 things speak the loudest. They speak the loudest to your employer, to your bosses, to the people around you, to the customers, to everything. Okay? So when I say, to get ahead, going the extra mile is that thing that's going to get you ahead the most. That's the thing that's going to stand you out above everybody else. That's number 9. Okay? It's going to help you close sales better. It's going to help you close the sales because you've done extra, because you've done more than what the guy asked. You've done more than what's expected of you. Okay? So the clients recognize this. People around you, your bosses recognize this. Okay? So you just do more of what's expected. There's guys I know that work in a McDonald's and they're cutting pickles. There's nothing wrong with that. Someone's got to cut the pickles, and there's a guy cutting the pickles. And that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. That's honest work. It's no problem. Okay? But there's guys that after 10 years are still cutting pickles, and there's guys that after 3 years are managing the restaurant. Why? Because they go the extra mile, because they do these 10 things. They put themselves in extra. If the guy says cut the pickles, you cut the pickles. And then you say, boss, I'm finished cutting the pickles. Can I cut the onions too? Oh, sure. Or you finished already so quickly? Yeah, I'm finished. Give me some more work to do. Or how can I do it? Or do it faster, or do it better. Put yourself extra. Because that's what notices. That's what's going to leap you ahead. the quickest. That's the one thing in an abstract way, is that going the extra mile, putting yourself out there just a little bit more. That's what's going to advance you more than anything else. And the last one, really, like a good Boy Scout, being prepared. You're going to see someone, be prepared. You're going to work, be prepared. You take what you think or what you know they need. If it means carrying a calculator and a pen in your pocket, you carry a calculator and a pen in your pocket. Be prepared. Don't just walk in and not know anything or not do anything. Or every time the guy asks you a question, oh, I don't know, like a waitress or a waiter comes to your table in a restaurant, they don't have a pen or a pad. Hold on a sec, I gotta go get the pen and the pad. You know, be prepared, right? You don't go into any call, you don't meet any customer. If you're gonna call a customer, make sure you're prepared. Make sure you've got your speeches in front of you. Make sure you got your pencil, your pen, your pad, your calculator, whatever it is you're going to need, your computer, whatever it is you're going to need. Make sure you've got it, because people don't like when you're not prepared. It's a waste of their time. They don't like it. Some people will have a little bit of patience for it. Overall, people don't like it. You've got to go in, you've got to have a certain preparation. There's a certain minimum that you have to have. Okay? This is probably the worst faux pas that anybody can make, is not being prepared. People, you go in to see a customer. Here it is, you call the customer, you make an appointment with the customer, or you call the guy, you say, come into my shop. Whatever that preparation means. If it means stock on the shelves, have stock on the shelves. If it means having a good employee working for you, have a good employee working for you. If it means the lighting has to be perfect, then make sure the lighting is perfect. If it means you've got to answer some basic questions, figure out beforehand what those basic questions are. Think, use your head. You're in an industry, you're in a market, you're working for someone. Think and be prepared. Because when you're not prepared, when you go in and the guy starts asking you questions, or oh, I don't know, I got to check with my boss. Oh, I don't know, I got to check. Oh, I don't know, I got to check. I don't know, see what I can do. Well, I don't have this. Well, I don't know, can I borrow your pen? I forgot mine. I don't know, I don't really have any business cards. It doesn't sit well with the customer, okay? It doesn't look nice, okay? It looks like you're unprepared, basically. That's what it looks like. It's exactly what it looks like. It doesn't look like anything great. It just looks like you're unprepared. And when you're unprepared, the guy says, how much faith can I put into this seller? How much faith can I put into this guy when he comes to see me and he's unprepared? So really important, before you go see someone, make sure, before you call someone, before you see someone, before you contact someone, make sure you've got your answers in front of you. Make sure you have what you need to give the guy. Of course, there's always things that the guy is going to ask that you might not know. Fair enough. So you say, listen, I'm sorry, I don't know that. I'm going to find out for you. Great. That's okay. As long as you get back to the guy and you find out to him, that's fine. Right? It's when you go there and you've just got nothing. you just have nothing. You don't have 90%. You've got 10% preparation. That's not going to do it for you. The guy is just he's gonna say, okay, he's wasting my time. I'm not really interested. Okay, thanks. Don't call me, I'll call you, is basically what he's gonna tell you. Okay, so that's it for now. I hope that was helpful to everyone. And yeah, that's it. So feel free to comment, like, subscribe, and thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.